Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Always Almost There, day after show live. We are fresh off of a show in the Showhio of Showhio. It is the only Showhio of Showhio, as Peter so graciously explained to us last night. Neil, how are you today?
I'm excited. I am excited about the Water the Palms edition of Always Almost There. It is that hour.
It is.
And it's time to water the palms. But doing
Proper.
great, man. Here we are, a little bit later than normal. We have an exciting show to talk about. If nothing else, I think one thing that can be said about this show is that many words can be used to describe it, both positively and negatively. Like I think.
Oh yes, on this podcast,
highs and lows.
You will hear us rave about things that happen. You will hear us laugh at setlist choices. You will hear us say that this is a fantastic show for somebody who's going to the next three.
Yeah,
but
you can say all those things.
But also, I will say on re-listen, I am much happier with this show than I was in the moment last night, which tracks based on my normal attitude of grumbling about a butter rum ripcord. I think it's because today I have listened back to 3 songs, and I did not listen back to the butter rum ripcord. I think that's why I like this show more today. Wait, before we get into it, we're getting ahead of ourselves here, Neil. Oh, there we go.
Wait, okay. We're gonna hold on.
I got off the phone with Grady around 1 minute ago. All right, before we get into this, of course, is fall tour, and we are partnered with Hannah and Kait, aka the Cacao Girls. If you've ever wanted to elevate your concert experience beyond your usual pre-show routine, Hannah and Kait have created something amazing called the Conscious Pregame. Whether you're at the show or on the couch, they guide you through cacao ceremonies and meditative rituals to ground your energy, open your heart, and connect more deeply with the music, the moment, and the community. They lead these pre-games for fans and for the band, and there's one coming up just in 2 days in Richmond, but I believe it's sold out. Good thing you can still Conscious Pregame from home. Head over to their website, www.hannahandkait.com, and use code AATPOD for 15% off any purchases over $25. Very exciting.
Exciting for Hannah and Kait. They're selling out the Conscious Pregame. So now, folks,
they're selling it in a positive way.
Yes, they're selling their tickets out.
Yes.
I don't know why you felt the need to clarify that.
Well, it was your phrasing there. You paused after you were like, they're selling out.
They're selling out the Conscious Pregame. I mean, I think folks are into it. I think it's a wonderful thing, man. It's a wonderful thing to be present and set intentions and be mindful. So
it is.
I'm stoked that folks are doing it. I'm not going to be there, I don't think, no matter what happens. So,
and you had some people try to convince you, but it clearly didn't work.
I did. There were some convincing things. Well, I think no matter what, if I were to make it to night 2 of Richmond, there's no way I'm making it to the lot by 4 p.m., which is when the Conscious Pregame starts.
I think to 2, but you were close.
I think it's 4 p.m. I checked the website.
Anyway,
but thank you for trying to fact check me when I actually had the information, Ryan.
I love fact checking.
That's what people tune into this pod for. I think we've had a few fact checks lately. Just total Ryan misfires. Like you tried to correct me on the double bass thing. Tried to correct me the other day on the synth solo and hot tea. Man, I'm sharp these days. You can't. It's not that easy anymore.
I'm on tour. You're not. One of us woke up at 4:30 this morning in Columbus and went to the airport. Yeah. Okay, and it wasn't you.
Did you get any sleep at all? It's a grueling tour.
Yeah. Well, I got a few hours. What? Why did I go to Columbus for 19 hours?
Yeah.
To see that Wisteria, mostly.
I guess that's fair. But you could have flown out tomorrow. I mean, I guess it makes sense to fly out today. Well, just really had to get to Richmond
tomorrow. So some of us work, and some of us don't want to spend money on a hotel. Shout out to big hat guy Lucas Anderton for letting us stay at his apartment here.
Hey, just for the record, I don't think anybody listening to this podcast actually believes that you work, but okay, just you run with that.
You know that I anyway.
Okay.
Let's talk about this show last night. Kemba Live, not my favorite venue I've ever been to. And I was thinking about this last night. I should have taken a video of where the merch table was, because you had to go through the bathroom to get to the merch table. Because the way that Kemba Live works is that it's an indoor and outdoor venue. And the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same stage, and it basically opens both ways. There's like a lawn and pit, etc. for the outdoor, which is where Goose played last night. Then there's the indoor venue, which is an indoor venue, and that's where they set up the merch table last night. And the only way to get in there is through the bathrooms. So the men's bathroom line was also the merch line, and then you had to walk out through the women's bathroom. It was a very strange. It was very strange setup. I didn't get any merch last night, but someone was like, "Yeah, it's through the bathroom," and I walked through and just to see how long the line was, just to see the situation. It was a really long line. It was lined up out the door outside the men's bathroom and looked like a bunch of guys waiting in line to pee. And then you get in there and you just keep going. Instead of, you can turn right into the actual bathroom, or you can walk through the indoor door and then wait in another really long line for merch. And then you have to walk out through the women's one.
I have so many questions, so many things I want to say. One, it doesn't, how big is Kemba Live indoor as opposed to Kemba Live outdoor?
It's still a few thousand.
So couldn't they fit those few hundred people inside the few thousand person venue instead of making them stand in a line that snakes through a bathroom?
Or they could have done what people said they did last time, which was have the merch booth set up outside, which is what apparently was the case last time Goose played there. Everyone I talked to who lives in Ohio, who has been to Kemba a bunch, is I've never seen this.
This is fascinating. So this is taking the AAT bathroom review to a next level kind of thing.
Anna's going to be happy about this one.
Yeah, so we should let her know about that. Also, looking forward to the Reddit posts of Ryan Storm creeping the women's bathroom at Kemba Live with you just walking through, trying to figure out where the hell you're going. So it's going to happen at some point.
All
Maybe
right.
it already exists.
Relax.
It's not your fault.
So regardless of that, didn't love this venue because your choices were very tight pit in the front or lawn at the back, which was on a big slant and covered in decomposing what looked like goose poop. But it was already it was already I don't know, well into being decomposed, so it wasn't stepping in poop, but it's not the greatest of lawns at a concert venue that I've ever seen.
Maybe that's the inspiration for some first set list choices. I don't know. Who knows?
Good segue there. Well, as we know, when Peter comes out and he says something about how excited they are about the show, or they love playing in that city, or they're going to go super hard tonight, they're going to open with Dr. Darkness after that.
Yeah.
And thus they did.
Yes. We've learned some things about the Dr. Darkness opener, which apparently Rick gets in his feelings. This helps him process his feelings. I don't know. I didn't do the Reddit AMA thing, but I heard that was discussed. But I don't know.
But regardless, putting that aside, love that for Rick. First set, I mean, we can kind of just talk about most of this first set in one go here. We get 1, 2, 3, 4 openers, 4-pack here of Dr. Darkness, My Mind Has Been Consumed by Media, Interlude 2 into Jive 1, and Turbulence, all of which I guess that's 5 openers because Interlude 2 has open shows and Jive 1 has open shows.
Yeah, 5-pack.
Nice little 5-pack. Yeah, it's good. Nothing to write home about here. And I feel as though there were some points where they weren't quite clicking in the first set. We'll talk about it in the next song as well. But I hadn't seen Turbulence in a really long time, which I realized because they've only played it once since Fiddlers, so that was nice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's something to get excited about, especially if you go to a zillion freaking shows as you do. What are my thoughts on all of this?
Do you have any?
Well, Short Rest, My Mind Has Been Consumed by Media. That's cool.
Third one of the tour.
Yeah.
That's about in line with how they've been playing it this year, though. It's been
this year, but not last year. Yeah. I mean, it was a rarity last year. How many times did it get played all year?
No. Well, so it got debuted in September and was played 5 times last year. until Cincy, and then it wasn't played again until Idaho.
Yeah, it was a long break, right?
Yeah, 29 shows there. It's in
28
rotation.
shows.
It's fun. It's a good time. You know what else is a good time? When Goose covers Chick Corea. I was very excited.
Yes.
At the opening notes of Spain. This is the first one in 103 shows. Last played Thompson's Point last year, June 25th.
Hey, I was at that show.
A little bit flubby, but the Rhodes sounds amazing on this song.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's a hard song to play.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't play this
once every year and a half or so, or whatever. It's going to be tough. And I love this cover. It's shockingly rare. How many times have they played it? Like ever?
5.
Five, right? So this is a low instance cover.
One of like 2 of those being in 2015 and 2016.
Right. And then one of them, like when it came back, was like, what, 2021, somewhere down south on the East Coast? Is that right? My memory serving me well?
In Richmond, actually.
Richmond.
National.
How about that? They're playing there soon. Do you know that?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I just like wonder like if these things are coincidences. That's why I was bringing that up.
Right. Like they're looking at what they played the last time in Richmond, and they're like, oh, we haven't played Spain in a while. Let's do that.
And, this show, I have some theories. I've got, the conspiracy meal thing going on right now.
Oh.
And aside from the
conspiracy meal in the chat.
Yeah. The hot Goosespiracy theory these days is that Goose is an AI band, which is thought-provoking.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, you haven't seen this one yet? Oh,
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, it's going to be the new thing. You're going to love it.
Oh, boy.
But in any case... My Goosespiracy theory is that 4 shows before the tour is done, the band almost always plays the jives, or they do an emptying of the tank and they play a bunch of songs they needed to get done, and because they needed to do a bunch of these songs in order to line up the next 3 shows, and they throw in as a treat like some kind of a song you haven't heard in a while, a little bust out. And Kemba just sees the bust outs.
Well, I was going to say that happened last time. Like it got Rosalie McFall last time. I think like Rosewood was on a long gap at that show. Maybe like Mist was too. Yeah. Like there were a bunch of songs I remember in 2023. It was like Kemba was the show where they all came back. And there have been a couple like that on this tour as things make their way back in, but there were a few last night. Yeah.
So getting towards the end of tour, they always kind of empty the tank a little bit. More often than not, jive gets played in the show, the jives. And this is what last night was. And it's not always the case. Sometimes they have an empty the tank show that comes the day after the Jives show. Which
you know what is still in the tank?
What?
Torero. Where is Torero?
I don't know. Well, they weren't going to play it in Ohio because they had just played it an hour and a half down the road in the summer. So I don't know. Still, I digress, man.
I'm on the crusade. And then, so please forgive me. Never been my favorite cover. But I know people love it.
Chattanooga's pissed.
Yeah, well, we weren't in Chattanooga last night. So I forgave Rick, luckily, because this 21-minute jive lead that happens next is absolutely phenomenal. Wow. This is one of the 3 jive leads ever to have passed the 20-minute mark, which the other 2 being Fiddlers and Northlands, 2024. And for those who don't know, like this is Jive Lee passing the 20-minute mark is a huge deal because there's literally no song. It's just jam for 20 minutes. So what you're getting here is 20 minutes of improv. You don't have to like do math to be like, oh, it's only 15 because there was the song proper that happened. No, This is 21 minutes of Jive Lee. They go through so many different ideas, but the one thing that remains constant throughout is Cotter motherfucking Ellis.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah.
This man is a beast.
Yeah, those are my notes for this one, which is like I listened a couple times and I thought about sitting around and dissecting certain sections and saying like, oh, you should check out this section because this is dope and this section because it's dope. And I was just like, no, it's just fucking Cotter. It's Cotter all the way through, just insanity. I don't know how you do all of that for 20 minutes straight. It's ridiculous. So like if folks are going to ask me, what is an emblematic Cotter Ellis jam that I should go listen to and find out how or why Cotterellis rips,
This
this
one.
this is the one. Like, you
Yeah.
just gotta go listen to this, because it's kind of nuts the amount of notes that are hit on the drums in a very small period of time in certain sections of this jam. Like, it almost is like he has like 8 arms. It is bananas.
It's also crazy because he's responding to Rick kind of going through all these different ideas and all these different shifts, and he does not lose a drop of momentum at all. Like, there are times
Yep.
where he kind of like dials back the intensity a bit, but he's
Yep.
still going. Like, it's really interesting also the way that Rick kind of goes all over the place and is like, we're gonna go dark now, we're gonna go light now, and there's really cool progression that Peter kind of brings in at one point on the Rhodes that then Rick makes. So it's cool, actually. I'm a little scatterbrained here talking about it, but Peter at one point is doing this really cool textural Rhodes stuff and starts to bring in this uplifting, like ascending progression. And
those are my
they build around it for a minute, like, or less than a minute, but like a second. And then Rick is like, you know, like, we're going to go dark again. And then like a minute later, Trevor brings that progression back in. And I think that's so cool. And that's not something that Goose does a lot. Like, you'd expect like Peter would bring it back, but like a thread that Peter was, you know, brought up in the jam earlier, Trevor's like, I liked that idea. Let's go back to that. And so it's really cool. And we're seeing this kind of growth from the band. You know, it makes you wonder why they weren't doing that for the first 55 minutes of the set. But it's okay, because this Jive Lee is phenomenal.
It's very good. And I think what you're seeing a lot of, and I think there's a thread now as we talk about these shows as this tour goes on, is Trevor pushing melody more and more and more often in jams. He's always done it. I know if Jive was here, he would say, Jive Goose would say, well, of course, that Trevor's always pushed the melody. He's a bass player. It can be a melodic instrument. Yes, but he's doing it more often now and to greater effect. And he's doing things like this, taking musical ideas and reintroducing them into jams, making the jam more dynamic as they've moved away. And that is pretty cool. But that is actually, you know, the notes that I have for this, which is Cotterellis is an unstoppable machine. Yep. Lots of big energy and ascending riffs, which you got. Yep. Triumph, glee, darkness, constant barrage of drums. That's the jam chart right there. I don't know. You got to throw that in the jam chart.
Throw that in. Well, allegedly you have written one for the Arrow.
I did write one for the Arrow.
I don't know where it is because you didn't put it in the spreadsheet, but I'm excited to read it.
I'll read it. I'll paraphrase it for you right now when we've been talking about this jam, because I've got a lot to say about this jam.
So that closes out the first set, right? And so here we are now 20 minutes into 60 minutes of phenomenal Goose that you get in the middle of this show, sandwiched by, you know, some parts of the show that aren't as good, which is funny because if you put this, like, if this second set was like, literally, like if it was Jive Lee, Arrow, Wisteria, or like those 3 songs in sequence for an hour, and you kind of spread everything out, I think this show looks very different. I don't know if it looks better per se, but we were thinking like after this Jive Lee, it was like, okay, it's like a Guilford situation where really slow start to the first set, and then the first set closes with something for 20 minutes that like blows the doors wide open, and then the second set is incredible. And the second set starts that way.
Yes. It absolutely does. And this is not the only time they've done this on this tour, mind you. They've kind of done the hour, like, with a little bit of a set break in the middle of incredible jamming already. Mm-hmm. And you know what I think would really change the show, as long as we're kind of throwing ideas about changing the substance.
Not playing Butter Rum?
I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know if I have like a lot of complaints about how the show ends. I think just the number of songs to start the set it's hard to swallow if you're a jam music fan, because you're sitting there like, where are the jams, right? Like, I'm here for the jams.
Well, there's that,
songs, and I'm here for the jams. But like, well, hear me out. Hold on, let me finish the thought. So what if for the second song they played a jammer, which Goose tends to do? What if they just did Time to Flee there? Does that change the substance of the show completely for you?
Depends what the Time to Flee does.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair.
It's an 8-minute Time to Flee. No.
But yeah, I mean, that's where the source of this is. Like, I think that's people's frustration with the set, is like, that's a long time to stand there and say, hey, when am I going to hear some substantive improv in this show? You know?
I think also part of the struggle for me was up on the lawn. The crowd was not really engaged until like the second half of the Lee. Like it just felt super low energy, and it looked like there was some good energy happening in the pit. And I'm curious to hear, if anyone in the chat, if you were there down in the pit, let me know what the vibe was like in the first set. But it just felt a little sleepy to start, and it took people a while to get back into the second set too. But the energy eventually came back. But like somewhere in the middle of Jive Lee, when there was a switch that flipped, and it was, people were in.
Yeah, all systems go.
Yeah.
So how was set break? Was it good?
It was great.
Yeah. Anything happened at set break?
I was hanging out with the mayor of Ohio.
People took issue with your use of the word mayor because.
Oh my God! Well, yeah.
What does Canada have? Like, who's in charge of the townships of Canada?
Mayor is the term. So yeah, somebody thought that because I'm from a different country, I didn't know what a mayor was. But no, Mike Morawski is the mayor of Ohio.
Dude, so. There's a lot of weird things. I think it's reasonable for people to assume that you don't have mayors. I mean, you spell words wrong, you count show gaps incorrectly. There's all kinds of quirks Canadians have.
Let's talk about the second set, shall we? So Arrow comes out. I was surprised.
Upset is the word. You were upset.
Okay, let me sugarcoat it a little here, because I was pleasantly surprised by the fact that it was good. But the last several versions of Arrow have not really done a whole lot. Like we had this year, out of all the Arrows that they've played, I would say we have Mexico, or we have Grand Rapids, and St. Louis are the notable ones. And that's out of 7 to date. So I guess that's not a terrible ratio, but I think it was the last several, it felt like, or at least on this tour, the first 2 that had happened didn't really do a whole lot. Vermont was good, but nothing crazy. So it starts last night, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this is the third Arrow to open a second set on this tour, and we haven't heard Torero. They're all, at this point, I'm like, play Wisteria here. Like I was hopeful of that last night. But it just felt to me, it's like, we don't need another Arrow right now, especially if it's going to go 20 minutes and just do the Arrow thing. Luckily, it didn't. And this jam is sick.
It did and it didn't. That is the interesting thing about this jam that I have noticed, is there were some things that were done in a typical way. Some instruments played in a very typical way, and some instruments weren't. And it's those instruments that were not, that took a different approach to this song, that changed the song completely from an improv perspective.
Do tell.
Yeah, I will. I will tell you about that. How about that? So the interesting thing, again, that starts this thing off is that Trevor's doing all kinds of things, driving the melody of this, and makes it sound excellent. Because if he wasn't doing that, if he was just kind of playing like the simple bass line to Arrow, then all you would have left is Rick just riffing Arrow, which is the thing that I think can get a little tiresome.
Yeah.
Because that can go on for a really long time. And then for a stretch, you have just Peter making weird sounds. But because Rick is kind of riffing underneath Trevor doing Trevor's thing, and Peter's doing weird sounds, the whole collective sound is incredible. And the star there is Trevor. And that is really, really cool. And that's how the beginning section of this Arrow feels a little bit different to me.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's kind of like a switch up of instruments, and again, they're still kind of centering around that melodic bass approach, but Peter's just kind of doing this playful stuff on the marimba piano thing, where he's got like a little bit of a lowrider riff, and then he's got like a little bit of loose ends. Actually,
a little bit of look at Cleveland.
So he's playing with like a bunch of different melodies in here. And then that makes that part interesting too, because it's otherwise like a little bit still just like, I don't know, just kind of like your regular Arrow otherwise.
Well, so what I thought was interesting is this kind of, I guess, ending portion of the Arrow, but the last few minutes before
I haven't gotten there yet.
I thought you were getting there. Sorry.
Oh no. I'm not done. This is just the middle of the Arrow. So like that part was like pretty neat and cool. And then the thing happens. So he finds this little kind of Talking Heads, little psycho killer percussive piano riff. And Rick is still just kind of meandering around doing the Rick Arrow thing. And then all of a sudden he finds the riff. And then the riff comes in. and then Peter hears the riff, and then he picks up the riff, and then Trevor picks up the riff, and then all of a sudden they're in this space that sounds sick. And like, this is where the jam becomes what I think exceptional. If they hadn't done this part, then we wouldn't really be talking so enthusiastically about the jam, or at least I wouldn't. And so that big riff kind of builds into this piano led jam that is straight up from the New Hampshire Fish in the Sea. They do the same exact thing in there. Not the same exact thing, but a very, very similar thing.
I wouldn't go that far. This reminded me more of the Alpharetta Big Modern, actually. The last few minutes of that.
It's got a little bit of that vibe to it. Yeah.
Before the loose ends.
But like so the last thing I have to say about this is they find that little jam segment that sounds a lot to me like the Fish in the Sea from New Hampshire, but it's straight up a little bit of vibes of Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20. So if you hear the riff in there, let me know. I feel like I hear the riff, or almost the riff. It's not a tease, but when I write the jam chart,
it's no Wrong Way by Sublime.
It is no Wrong Way by Sublime. That one was one of the most mind-boggling teases I've ever heard. Also,
and that was at New Hampshire. That was at the New Hampshire show right before that Fish in the Sea. It all connects. It all connects.
It's all happening. All right.
Well,
so what did you think of the jam?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I've kind of come in a little here with my opinions. I don't have a ton to add, but I do want to talk about this Wisteria a lot.
Also sick.
Actually. This is my highlight of the night here by far. This is also, in my opinion, pretty easily the best Wisteria since Portland 2024. 6/26/24. We've talked about almost every time they've played Wisteria this year. It's like they're trying to get there. They kind of start getting there, and then there's a segue or a ripcord, something like that happens. And last night, praise be, neither of those things happened. And they just jammed the shit out of Wisteria for 20 minutes. This gets going quickly. You get some like absolutely filthy 2-guitar churn in the early half. Just phenomenal playing from them. And then this major key segment that they come into, it's 2-guitar for a while, and then Peter hits the piano. Was like, it's just gorgeous. And this is one of the things to me, like when Goose hits that, like that multi-section thing, when they push past that first idea, when the first idea is fully developed and they can theoretically end the jam. And I feel like in a lot of this year's Wisterias, they would have ended after the initial churning thing, but they push through into this major key thing that just unfolds into this wonderful peak. And I think if they had played this jam at the Chicago show, there would be certain people who would call it the jam of the year. But
hey, slow down on the accusations. I will say this
I'm not calling it the jam of the year, for the record.
On a Tuesday night. This is a Tuesday night. Yeah, I don't know if it's up there in the conversation.
Absolutely.
This is a good jam. These are the good jams we're waiting for.
Yeah.
But so you said since Portland. So you've skipped over a significant Wisteria in that, which is the Salt Shed Wisteria, which was in the Jam of the Year bracket.
It was a 16 seed, though. I would say that this one is, pretty handily better than that one.
Handily better. Okay. I was curious about like how you measure one against the other. Very different Wisterias, Portland and this one, I think. Just got different kinds of vibes. I don't know if I have much more to add than what you've already said. The beginning kind of frenzied section was refreshing because I feel like we haven't gotten that kind of jamming in a while. And then of course the shift to the bright kind of major key thing is always good. I mean, it's the thing that they do so well. And I love this one. And then the kind of the big ending, which I was saying last night, where it's kind of got those swells and those big dynamic shifts, very reminiscent of the Perry Western Sun. Jam of the Year
parallel,
winner,
by the way. You said that last night, and I was like, oh.
It is. It's got that whole big swelling energy. I mean, it's not the same, not exactly the same, but it's got that kind of vibe. The way the jam moves, the way the jam breathes is very similar to the Perry Western Sun.
Absolutely. And 2-guitar Goose, baby. Never disappoints.
Never.
After that, we get a Western Sun, and I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, this is going to be one of those sets. Like, we're really going for it here. Like, they're going to jam this, or they're going to play this as a cool down, and then play like Tumble or something after, or Redbird. Where's Redbird? They haven't played it since the Fredericton one that Peter keeps saying he loves that we haven't heard yet. There is a tape on the archive, but they have not released the boards from this show yet. And Peter keeps saying it's one of his favorite jams from this tour. He said it in the AMA yesterday.
Did he?
Yeah. So
we got to hear this thing.
But Redbird is long overdue. The Richmond Redbird, perhaps, gonna do something. But
maybe they keep that in their back pocket till Philly, and they give us the freaking Redbird
redemption from last year. Oh, that'd be great.
I will never forget. It's never going to leave my memory. Is that disappointing little trill on the piano at the end, where it's almost like a sad trombone sound, where Peter's like, oh, "Fuck man, I had this one."
It's even worse because the jam was getting so good. If you want to hurt yourself, go listen to the 6:28:24 Redbird. And you will get to the point where Goose realizes that curfew is approaching and they have to end the set. And it just unceremoniously ends.
With just a sad trombone sound interpreted on the piano.
Oh, God, it's so bad.
It's quite nice.
Quite nice. Oh, yeah. Nice is not the word I use. But anyway, so we did not get a Redbird last night. And they start to jam out the Western Sun. And I'm like, woohoo. And then, Rick starts playing the intro to Butter Rum, and my excitement pretty much evaporates. No, just kidding. It didn't evaporate there. I was kind of like, all right, like we're going to do this, but I'm thinking about the Sterling Heights Butter Rum, which is a fantastic jam. I'm like, all right, it's late second set. We might get Goose. We might get but there's going to be some sort of jam here. And for what seems like zero reason, like this is a 7-minute Butter Rum. Like Cotter even goes into the disco beat and is like trying to jam it out, and Rick just plays Butter Rum and then ends the song. And I don't understand why.
Just a bada bing, Butter Rum, and you're out. You just got to bing it sometimes.
Why?
Because who knows, man? You try to get in that guy's brain. There are things that he does that are very puzzling, but I imagine there was a little element of humor for the band in that one.
I don't know if there was humor because Rum was the audible here. They were like they rewrote the second set at set break, and they wanted to do the T Kylie. So instead of playing Rum there, you give 7 minutes to Kylie, and then we get some Goons.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first.
Yeah,
we have now come full circle. We are talking about dropping songs so we can extend get you out of my head jams.
Just for the record,
I just want to be clear that that's happening.
Just for the record, it's about what song we're dropping for that. Okay, I'm not saying we should drop Thatch to play a longer Can't Get You Out of My Head. I'm saying we should drop a 7-minute Butter Rum from the middle of the second set.
Jive Goose just got an enormous pain behind his eye.
Give that jam to the Western Sun also. But I'm thinking from Rick's perspective, if it was like, okay, we're going to not jam Butter Rum so we can play Hot Tea and Kylie,
They wanted that Tea Kylie bad because that's not the first time that showed up on a set list. So I don't know why they wanted it so bad, although it fits. And they needed to find a way to jam Kylie inside of a song. And by jam, I don't mean improvisational music. I mean, force it in there. Because they took it out of Mist. Mist is sick now, so you can't do that anymore. So now you got to put it inside of another song. And hey man, listen, if you're gonna put it in a song, put it in Hot Tea, close the set, whatever, dude. It's all fun.
Yeah. This is also the first Kylie in 73 shows. Last played in Birmingham, Alabama. Last fall, October 26th. And you get around 30 seconds of Goons because, they start setting up the Goons thing. Cotter does like one build. I think as he's doing it, they have okay, wait, actually, we don't have time for this. Curfew's coming. And so instead of hitting like the drop into the Goons jam, they hit the drop back into T, which was kind of cool.
But
yeah.
I don't know.
Hot tea,
I got
Kylie.
nothing else to say.
Look at
I
that,
gotta
like-
be honest, man.
Honestly, I think Jive Goose got a pain behind his eyes when he saw butter rum hot tea, can't get you out of my head hot tea as part of the second set.
You know, I've spent so many like moments of my life in the past few years talking with you and Jive and Kev about this music that like there are things that I see the band do that I can't just I have to like I can't help but wonder if
Why?
they're saying like fuck you Jive Goose like as they're writing the thing. And like this one is like the most like if you listen to the podcast at all, you listen to the recorded episodes where we do like tour recaps, you know that the songs that Jive Goose has the biggest set of problems with are Hot Tea, right? Electric Avenue,
Yeah.
Yeti, as he pronounces it. And then, of course, Can't Get You Out of My Head. Hates it. Hates this stuff. And then when they start jamming these things together, again, forcing, not improvising, you have to wonder what this has to do with things that they've heard about Jive Goose and his feelings. I don't know. Maybe they know, maybe they don't. It's just out there in the universe.
And then you get a quick Salt encore.
Yeah.
You know.
It's good. Hey,
I mean, Salt is great in this slot. Listen, like, and I've been saying for years, like, Goose has needed a song like this that they can jam in the encore, not improvisationally, when they only have 6 minutes left.
Yeah. And like,
this is it.
Don't do it or
Salt, right? Like,
or Salt. Like, I mean,
Love Light or Salt.
Salt. Yeah. It's like just do Salt every third show. That's the answer.
I'm down.
Or a short Arcadia. I don't know. That's
or
on tap
Salt.
too.
Yeah, God, don't.
Or Salt.
6-minute Arcadia. We've seen it. We hate it. We don't need it.
Yeah. You might see it again before the end of this tour.
Yes. So, it can be, you know when it's like, like what is it, like Rose and Thorn, or like a compliment sandwich or something with like criticism in the middle? We just did the opposite of that for this show.
Yeah.
We were like, criticism. Holy shit, these jams are really amazing. Wow, the last part of this show sucked.
Well, I don't know if sucks is the word I would use. I don't want to like go on record here about this show saying like it was just a disaster all the way through, because I do think that Hot Tea, Kylie Hot Tea is actually a fun section to a show.
Yeah, very fun. I think it was just coming after a 7-minute butter rum in the middle of the second set. It was a little like,
Rick wanted that rum, dude. Sometimes you gotta have it. You gotta have it, and he had to have it last night. And that was his last chance to play it forever, because there's no way they're playing it the rest of this tour.
Forever. Well, now they're going to play it in Philly because you just said that, Neil.
Hell yes, let's go.
Now put that out
listen,
there.
I'm going to actually, now that I've done it, I'm going to totally commit to it. Philly butter rum. Let's go. I'm going to skeet about it later.
Jam of the year. That's going to be the one.
Like the skeet if you're into it. Might even put it on my Instagram. I've got a whole 250 followers now. It's going to be sick.
Wow.
So yeah, like and subscribe, as our friend Matt would say.
And actually, I wanted to look, and I'm just now remembering that I had this.
Are you taking out a book?
No, set list. So they were like, so it's literally they just audibled rum. Like they rewrote this at set break. I think I took a picture of somebody's full set list last night, actually, and what they were originally planning on doing.
Yeah.
So first set, Dr. Darkness Media, Jive 1, Turb, Spain, Please Forgive Me, Jive Lee, Indian River, Salt.
Yeah. No time for that.
So Indian River's on the table again, though, for this weekend. I wonder if they do the Sanskrit or
Sanskrit.
Go back to Delta. And then let me tell you, I think the rewrite of this second set is better than what they were planning on. They just kind of rearranged stuff. But Kylie T to open set 2.
Ouch. That sucks.
That would have been bad. Yeah. Then Wisteria, Western Sun, Rum, Arrow, SOS Encore. But Kylie T to start your second set is not what you want to see.
Do you think like somebody just came by like at set break and they're just like, Rick, listen, Kylie T kind of sucks. We got
not a good idea.
That I feel like that had to have happened. Like somebody was just like, listen, man, I just got to tell you.
And Peter
I
was
don't
like,
know.
dude, like we can close with it, but like we can't start with that.
We can't do this. Not after the first set. In any case,
Well,
I
anyway,
digress.
we're sounding now like we hated this show. But this is
I don't know, man. Yeah.
Well, it's a weird show, is what I was saying. Like, because all the really, really cool shit is right in the middle, and there's more really interesting jamming in this show than most of the shows on this tour.
Yep.
Like, when was the last time there were 3 jams that you could possibly put on your playlist in one show?
New Hampshire. That's why we were talking about New Hampshire, right?
Is that really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends on who you are. Some people I think would be really stoked on several things that happen at Madison Square Garden, but
sure. Or I mean, like I would say this is the best show since Detroit.
Oh yeah, I think that's
in terms of like in terms of improv, like and just the amount of jamming that we got. Like this is a great show for that. And so I'm curious to see what happens this weekend, because this has not been a tour where you can really predict where they're going to go, because it's been kind of all over the place. And so I'm really hoping that from here they're like, all right, let's do a whole show like this, and just like really play Torero at some point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Torero is not the sole ingredient of an excellent show, but
no,
I
it's
agree
not.
With you
I just want them to play. I just want them to play Torero.
Yeah. But one thing I'm certain of is that they have now lined up their catalog, I guess, and they're going to play 3 very strong shows to finish out this tour. I think if you're going tomorrow night and the night after, you're really excited. And then, of course, if you end in Philly, you know that Philly tends to have strong shows. Period. Full stop.
Goose is a Philly band, according to the community and how they vote in the bracket every year.
Yep. Yeah. They're a Philly band. It's close to home.
Yeah. Anyway, we will see you guys on Friday to recap Richmond Night 1, happening at the Allianz Amphitheater at Riverfront. Yes, that's how you pronounce it. It's not Alliance, as I thought it was.
Same.
Allianz. Interesting pronunciation.
Shout out to big hat guy Lucas Anderton for teaching you the correct pronunciation of Allianz.
I said Allianz, and he looked at me like,
how dare you?
Man.
How dare you?
Richmond locals take their company corporate sponsorships seriously, okay?
Very seriously.
Well,
serious
we're going there. It is unlike Kemba, it is a beautiful new venue. It is on the river. So very excited for these shows. Heard great things about this place. And we will see you on Friday afternoon to recap. Of course, once again, a reminder, you can visit hannahandkait.com and use code AATPOD for 15% off any purchases over $25. Get on that couch tour cacao ceremony. Shout out to our good friend of the pod, Nate Bordash, because we did a 420 pod today. And yes, have an easy fast for those who are fasting for Yom Kippur tomorrow. And we'll see you on Friday. Thank you for tuning in to this recap of the Show-Hio of Show-Hio. Have a fantastic rest of your day.